What's up, everybody? Hello. We are back again for the 35th time since whenever we started. What was that, last January or something?
January, February. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while.
It
Almost a year.
has. I think it was like January or so. Anyways, it is our 35th time here today as the Flyer Lie podcast. We are a amateur golf podcast. We don't talk about the pro golfers because we're not pros. We will never be pros. We're not good enough to be pros. But we know a lot of things about amateur golf. Both of us, at one time, were not the best golfers of all time. Now we're somewhat okay, semi good at golf, trying to get better at golf. So we've learned a lot along the ways about how amateur golf works in terms of playing for fun, playing for competition, playing to get better, all that good stuff. So we just talk about that here, and we ignore the pros because we don't know anything about them, unless we can use them to help us get better at golf, which sometimes we do. So basically, what we do is we share stories, info, tips, and tricks. Sometimes we interview other amateur golfers. We did that for quite a while last off season. We'll do that again coming up this off season, I'm sure. All kinds of stuff. So if you're into any of that, consider following our X account, which we are live on right now, or subscribing to our YouTube account, which we are also live on right now. We are trying to build a community of amateur golfers that we can just chat about golf with online because we need more friends than just us two. Golf friends. Uh, by the way, I mentioned we're live on X and YouTube. If you're here live with us, feel free to chat along. We will both see it. We will answer. We can talk back if you got questions or comments or whatever. We'll see it and we'll reply. So do that. If you're a replay kind of person, the video replays are you can find them also on X and YouTube. The audio replays you can find on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeart. They're out there somewhere. You can find us. We're out there somewhere. We got 35 episodes to go through too. So if you're really bored and you're relatively new, every episode, approximately every episode, is about an hour long. We're really good at like hitting an hour and being done.
Mhm.
Somehow we just kind of end like right at an hour. We're pretty good at that. What do you got? You got anything for the crowd before we ramble about nonsense? I got
You know,
something for you.
I I don't have anything for the crowd, but I do have a question for you because you
Sweet.
texted me. Uh, what is it about golfers who are mid to high handicappers? I'm talking about golfers who are 15 plus handicaps
Oh no.
who always think that they know how to get better at golf and they have the secret. Um, but in reality, they're just not that good of golfers compared to a lot of other people. But they don't ever take advice from those people who are better than them.
It is strange,
Why?
isn't it?
Why is that?
Uh, I'm not gonna bring up exactly the situation you're talking about, just in case that person may see this at some point, because we've had solid
Give me a
interactions over the
person
past, so I'm not gonna do that.
happens. It
Uh,
happens a lot.
it does. Dan Winters, by the way, says hi. Hi, Dan. Haven't
What's up,
seen
Dan?
you in a while. Are you in California, Dan? I think Dan's playing golf in
They
California. That sounds
were
really
they were,
nice.
they were out at the Mid Am.
That sounds really nice
Yeah,
to play golf in
but the
California.
female Mid Am,
Oh, that's
mind
right.
you.
How did
Yeah.
that go? Dan, tell us all about it. Um, where we go? Oh, yeah. It's one of my favorite things to do. It just in my brain, sometimes I don't even actually ask the question, but I'll see people tweet something, and I'm like, that just goes against everything that like a good golfer would say. So then I just want to find out like how good of a golfer they are, and almost always not very good. I don't play much. I shoot in the hundreds, something like that, and it's just like you'll see a tweet that's like, oh, club fittings, they're pointless. They don't work. And it's like, well, the best players in the world get their clubs fitted like every other day. So like, I mean, not that often, but like a lot. So why do you think it's dumb, but it's good for them? A whole bunch of different things. You don't need to know how exactly how far your clubs go. You just need to be really close. What?
Yeah, so I mean, there's some truth to that. Like, do you need to know that your stock 8 iron flies 157, or can you
Yes.
say my stock? Oh, better players, yes. For
That's
the
what I'm
majority of
saying.
for the majority of people, if you can say my stock 8 iron flies somewhere between 150 and 160,
No, I mean that's
you're
fine.
probably gonna be okay. But you still have to know some range of number.
Right.
Like
No, that's
so
what I'm
within
saying.
10 yards.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. There's all kinds. I was just giving an example, but there's all kinds of things. It's like
But
I just
so
don't believe you would be saying that if you were any good. So then sometimes I ask and sometimes I don't, and almost every time it's like they're just not very good.
yeah. So one specific thing, I'm obviously not going to say the name of who the person was that you were interacting with, but they said that caddies are stupid. Like the point of having a caddy is stupid, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm just kind of thinking about it like, no, caddies aren't just there to carry your clubs. Like they're there to talk you through a shot, talk you through your process, make sure you have the right plan in your head. And maybe what they're doing is helping you make that decision, or maybe what they're doing is just helping you confirm that decision that you already made,
Yeah.
just so
All
that
types of good
you're committed.
benefits. Yeah.
Just so that you're committed. Or they help you stop not do stupid stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Like if I had a caddy with me the second day of the club championship this year, there's no way on hole two that I would have done what I did, because it makes no sense. And I think back on it every now and then. I'm like, why did I even try to do that? Because the advantage I would get by it being successful wasn't really an advantage. So for anyone who's new here, I think I talked about it a little bit, but on hole two of the second day of the club championship, mind you, I'm starting the day tied for the lead. So so on hole two, I pull my tee shot a little bit left. It ends up going into a water hazard, but it's on the far bank of this hazard and it's kind of hanging up a little bit. So I can see the ball and I can get a swing on it. It's not very good. But my only option is to go out sideways. I'm not really getting much closer to the hole. Like I'm almost going just, parallel to the green. And for some reason in my head, I'm like, I'm going to try to hit the shot, thinking that I'm gaining an advantage. But I think about it now, I'm like, but I'm not getting any closer to the hole. I'm going sideways and I'm risking a lot. Like if I don't, if this isn't successful, it's going to go in the water and then I'm going to be taking a drop or something worse could happen, which did, mind you. um,
Classic.
but there's no way that if I had caddy, like if you were caddying for me, you're like, you're not going to hit that shot. Cause even if you hit it, you're going out sideways 30 yards and then you're still hitting your third shot onto the green and still hoping to, two putt for a bogey. Just take the drop and don't compound a mistake that already happened,
Right.
because you're hitting three into the green regardless of where you're going.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, caddies are not pointless. Like that's the type of thing that a caddy was like, that's stupid. Don't do it. Even when your mind says, but I think I can do it. And you just
Right.
kind of want to do it just for the sake of doing it. But yeah, just talk you out of
Yeah.
doing stupid shit.
Yeah. My two favorite parts, well, I had a lot of favorite parts about when I was semi full-time caddying for like summer. Slightly longer than that. My one of my favorite things to do was to, and this is going to sound weird, but it was to talk whoever I was playing, whoever I was caring for, out of whatever stupid ass thing they were planning to do. And that's like you have to do some convincing because it's already in their head. They're like, "Ooh, trees right in front of me that are 10 yards wide. There's a lane there. I can punch it through there. And it's like, no, you can't. You're not very good. Like you can't do that. How about we do this? And then if you execute this correctly, then you can do this and this, and you can probably still get the same score you were about to get if you did the other thing. So I love doing that. And then the other part is a little more happy, and that's when somebody says the correct plan, but they aren't sure it's the correct plan. They're like, I'm gonna try and fly it X yards because I know it's gonna land and it's gonna skip, and then they start going through, well, what if it doesn't? Or whatever the thing is. And then they're like, what if it doesn't? No, I'm gonna do something else that's the bad idea. Then it's even more fun to be like, no, whatever you were just about to do, that's the right answer. You go do that, be confident and hit it. And then of course you watch people do the right thing, and then they get most of the time good results that hit the ball good. And then yeah, those are two of my favorite parts of caddying. And if you don't got somebody standing next to you helping out with that, your scores can get worse. I mean, you won't notice it over one round probably, or two rounds. But if you have somebody standing next to you for a long time, it's very helpful.
Mhm.
Of
Yeah.
of many other things that are helpful that people just ignore.
Yeah.
Excuse me. By the way, Dan says he's back in the Midwest now. Oh yeah, the mid-am's over.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all done.
I was seeing some tweets about that.
So what was the other thing that he said? So the other thing this guy said is that lessons are dumb. Lessons.
Yeah, well, I mean that we don't even have to discuss that, right?
No, it's fine. I was talking to a buddy of mine in the gym. Yet, what was it on Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday. Um, he's an entrepreneur, and he makes money like teaching people how to write, and like that's his thing.
Mhm.
And he's always bugging me. He's like, why don't you just you love playing golf? Like, how do you not turn that into something that you can just make money on? I'm like, well, the things that people like to spend money on are things that I can't do. People love spending money on new equipment that makes
Yes.
them think that they're going to get better.
Yeah.
What people don't like spending money on is paying for stuff that actually makes them better, like lessons. They don't want to go and pay for lessons. What they want to do is buy a new driver because
Yeah.
that's going to make them better.
Buy a new driver. They
And
don't want to pay for a range key, a key to the range machine, so they can get a little bit of a discount on bulk range sessions. They don't want to pay for any of that shit. Yeah.
yeah,
They just want to go and be, ooh, look at that new Callaway driver. That'll get me extra 5 yards that the fucking commercial says it will, and then it never does, of course.
and it was kind of funny. He was like, "But why?" He's like, "If I wanted to get better at playing basketball, like I would go to a basketball coach." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
you would do that. Yes, that's what you would do." Um, but I'm like, but what they want to do is like most Americans and people in general, it's like we want to take the shortcut. We want to take the easy way. This is what they're promising that this will do for me. It's all this AI new technology, right? Where the face is super forgiving, and no matter where you hit on the face, it's all going to go the same distance to the same spot, which we know isn't true.
Hmm.
But that's kind of the way that it's marketed because they want to sell clubs. And that driver that you bought last year isn't near as good as this one this year,
Hmm.
so it's going to make you better.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just kind of funny,
It
and
is
I a
a
little bit.
yeah. It's an interesting sport because yeah, like you said, every other sport is like uh yeah, if I'm trying to get better, I need to go find an expert that's going to help me. Like if I wanted to work on my jump shot and I in basketball and I didn't have any clue where to go and I wanted to be better, like I can't just keep going to the gym. I'm not going to get better. I have to find somebody to help analyze what's going on and give me some drills and shit or whatever. And that's what you do. And then in golf's funny because it's a sport that it's hard to get really deep into unless you have a decent amount of money. If you like if you're just scraping the barrel, like you're not going to be able to afford lessons, you're barely going to have clubs that work for you. you're not going to be able to go to the range much. You're not going to be able to play much. It's a barrier to entry in the sport. But
Mhm.
the funny part is the people that are like really into golf are the people that have a solid amount of money, that actually have the money to pay for lessons and pay for going to the range and all that stuff. And they still, somewhere along the lines, they're still like, nope, lessons not worth my money. New driver worth my money. It's
Mhm.
very strange how this sport works.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the money aspect because golf is not a sport that's known for a lot of poor people playing it.
You can't afford it,
For
no.
it's known for kind of being a higher end, people with more money play it. Um, and that's just the way golf has kind of always been. I mean,
Hmm.
in America, they made country clubs early and often that were exclusively for very wealthy people. You and I would never be able to join those clubs.
No.
And those clubs we still can't join because we don't make
No.
enough.
No, not anywhere close.
But yeah, they still just won't go get lessons. It's like, dude, I try to convince somebody I play golf with. I'm like, dude, you're about to drop $600 on a driver. Why don't you just go get the $400 driver and go spend the other $200 on a package of 3 lessons or whatever, 2 lessons, whatever you can afford with that difference,
Hmm.
because that's going to make a bigger impact on your game than just buying the new club.
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
It's
It's
crazy.
unfortunate because I think there's probably a solid portion of golfers out there that literally can't afford like lessons and all that stuff, that would love to take them if they could.
Mhm.
And then there's just a solid portion on the other side that's the people that just don't really care too much about golf, and they got all the goddamn money in the world, and they should, and I want to get better, but I ain't gonna pay anybody to do it. It's like, well, god damn it, they're fucking Steve down the road is like, man, if I pick up an extra shift at the fucking at the diner down the road, I'll be able to get a lesson from the local pro or something. Like, there's plenty of people that are like that, which is unfortunate. Those are the people you want in golf too. We're talking about grow the
Oh
game, even though grow the game is very stupid and we like to shrink the game here. We're team shrink the game. But if you want to grow the game, those are the people you want to grow the game with.
yeah. Mhm. Yeah. You want to know what's kind of funny that I just thought about when you were talking about, those people with gobs of money who could afford it if they wanted to get better. Like so many of those people, like they run their own business, they're in sales, they're in finance, they're in a lot of these specialty niches where it's like their whole thing is I will do this for you because I know more than you and I can help you get to the thing that you want because I'm good at this. But they don't
Fair.
see it in the reverse of like, but you want to get better at golf, and that same guy who's using a similar pitch to you that you do to all of your clients because he knows more than you and he could help you, but you think it's dumb, spend your
Yeah,
money
it
on.
is very funny. Uh,
Oh, but you want
speaking
to
of,
know what? But I was gonna say, but you want to know what you can spend your money on and
yeah,
help you get better?
tell me.
Buying new wedges,
Ah,
specifically wedges itself, because a lot, in my opinion, drivers like the longer clubs, one, you don't hit them as often, and I don't, in my opinion, I don't think they improve year over year in the same manner that wedges, and not that wedges improve, but it's about the grooves because the
yeah.
grooves wear down fast, and spin control is key.
I believe we both learned that this year. Because
Mhm,
we both got a new set of wedges this year.
mhm.
Mine were, I had another story for you that maybe I'll get to before we're done. I was going through my Instagram, which I haven't used since 2022. It's now 2025. Uh, Long story how that happened. But I saw when I took a picture, which I posted on my Instagram, of when I got my previous wedges.
Mhm.
I posted a picture of them on Instagram. That was early 2022. So,
So it was like 3 years before you
yeah.
bought new wedges.
So I knew we were due. I didn't know how due we were. We were really due.
Mhm.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I know, like, was it My Golf Spy last week? They sent out something that uh, they experimented, and it's something like the spin rates, the launch angles, the carry distances, everything changes a lot when grooves wear down. And I think what they said, the sweet spot was 75 rounds. Like after 75 rounds, you should be replacing your wedges, which, I mean, that's changing them a lot. Like if it was me, I would be changing out some of my wedges, like my 60 degree, for instance. I would be changing that out almost twice a year, like beginning of the year and then
Mhm.
probably, mid August, where I'm just like, I need a new wedge. And quite frankly, I'm never going to spend that much money on wedges. Just not going to do it.
Right.
The juice isn't necessarily worth the squeeze for me. But I do find it interesting that how quickly and the spin rates, specifically spin rates, because that affects launch angle and carry distance and all that
Hmm.
trajectory and everything of that nature. Um, yeah, it's fascinating how much it drops. But I think the thing that I read in their article was it's not necessarily just that it drops; it's that the spin rates become more unpredictable too. The span, the range of spin rates you get could vary as much as like 2,500 RPMs with wedges after 75 rounds versus new wedges, which were like 400 or 500 RPM differences.
Hmm.
So that inconsistency could lead to, a ball shooting up in the air 50 feet or a ball shooting up in the air 30 feet and carrying where it's stopping on a dime or hitting and rolling out 15, 20 feet. Now you got a longer putt.
Yeah. And as we know, every foot on the green matters. So if you, and especially with wedges, like you really need to, if you want to score anyway, the wedges really have to be dialed in because obviously you use those the most. So that's why you replace them the most. Um, but yeah, if you can't predict within like a decent range, sort of kind of how your ball is going to react on the green, then you have no clue how how far or how close that ball is going to hit and then roll or roll backwards to or stop or whatever. And obviously, we have to get the ball really close to be in one putt range. But once you start getting further away after like 3 feet, every foot is an exponential decrease in make rate. So when you're, especially when you're talking wedges and scoring clubs, you got to make sure that you have those feet dialed in. 'Cause if you don't, then you're farther away, your make rates get worse. And then the interesting thing is people think that they're bad at putting. Might not be. Just might not have the right wedge in your hand. If it,
I'm bad at putting,
if
but
your equipment isn't helping you get it where it should be, are you really a bad putter? Maybe I am, but I know that over plenty of rounds and club changes and everything. But then then here comes the other part, and it's okay. Well, I'm a bad putter because I'm not hitting my wedges close or close enough, and I can't make the putt. So I'm going to practice putting instead of what the actual issue is, which a lot of people do in golf. A lot of people attack parts of their game that is not necessarily the weakness of their game because something else in their game is making them think that whatever that is bad. And it literally could just be you got what bad wedges, man.
well, it's kind of like we've talked before, like trying to understand how you scored on a hole and why you scored it that way on a hole. Like if you go and say you make a bogey on a par five and you made bogey because you missed a par putt from 3 feet, but uh, your tee shot was behind a tree. So you had to hit out sideways and then you hit up to the green and then you hit on the green to 3 feet. So maybe your wedge was really good. You hit it from 60 yards to 3 feet. Awesome. You missed it. You made bogey. The last shot that you had well, let's say 3 foot par putt. So you're upset and you're like, well, I need to get better at putting. Well, it's like, well, no, you need to get your tee shot in play. So then you have a clear shot on your second shot. So, but I think it's very similar to, the wedge conversation here. And it's about identifying the correct problem. Like, right. When you're reviewing your round and reviewing how you're playing, identify the correct problem.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Which is hard to do.
It
Very
is.
hard to do. Without a coach.
Yes. Yes. If you have a coach, it does make things easier because they will tell you what's wrong, especially if you can get one in person where you can go out and have a playing round, a playing lesson, and kind of they can watch you walk through your process and see how you approach each and every shot. Um, I've never done that, but I'd be very interested to at some point.
You should, and most of your lessons came from an online coach, so that's the difficult part about that. But when I was taking lessons, I tried any time I possibly could to do like on-course stuff, and the coach I work with and was working more with, um, he preferred it that way too. When you were outside, it was like, hey, we're just gonna drive around and like find a few holes even, and just play a couple holes and learn stuff out there. Because yeah, you can. I mean, you can sit on the range all you want, look at swing videos all you want, and realize you're in bad positions or whatever that you can fix on the range. But until you're on the course and looking at like real situations, um, all that cool stuff you're doing on the range may not matter if you're 40 yards away from the green and the ball's below your feet and you're short-sighted and you have no clue what to do. If you've had a handful of on-course lessons, like you have probably run into that situation or something close to it, or if you're just out on the course anyway, just chucking balls around with the coach, which is what I did a handful of times, your ball is just going to end up in a situation like that and you'll learn it. So, um, yeah, I mean, I tried to do that as much as I could anytime it was offered, because in-game experience always better than sitting on the range. And it's that way for any sport too, really. I always go
Yeah.
back to basketball. In-game experience gives you way more learning in basketball than it does just sitting on the three-point line shooting threes with a machine passing balls to you.
Mm-hmm.
Any sport, it's that way for any sport.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, kind of got sidetracked there a little bit.
We
We were
did.
talking wedges, but
That's right. That's where we
but
started.
that's what we do here. Um,
We do. We do.
so
We
I
haven't got
have
into TV shows yet.
yeah, I got a question for you.
Okay.
So they say that you should replace your wedges after 75 rounds, but in reality, I mean, most people don't do that. So, what do you think a good rule of thumb would be for replacing wedges and practicing with wedges? Like, how would you approach that just to make sure that people have relatively good grooves on their wedges that can control the trajectory and spin rates and everything?
Well, I'm gonna go back to something that we just said. You should go with what the data says you should do, which you should do that with everything in golf, really. If you should do it, then you should do it. The barrier to this is the cost. So if you can afford to buy new wedges every 75 rounds, you should do that. However, that is not realistic for most golfers. So there's a few ways you can I think you can evaluate this, and a lot of that has to do with, if you have access to like data, for example, and you can see over time that your numbers are diminishing, things are not lining up to what you expect them to or what they should be or whatever. um, you should is once it gets to a point where it's like, okay, and I just have no clue what's going on now, then you should consider buying new wedges again. Same with any club, really. Um, but again, the first barrier to entry is being able to afford it. Dan is chiming in, by the way, while I'm rambling, and Dan is more of an expert than either of us on this. Dan says depends on the skill of the player. Agreed. if they take golf seriously, 1 year, max 2 years.
Mm.
I would agree. And so at least in the Midwest, so like me and you, for example, 75 rounds gets us about a year or so. I think for a while there, I was playing well over 100 a year. So maybe not, but for most people, especially in the Midwest, when you can't really play outside and nobody's playing inside much, it's about 1 year for, like he said, serious players. Then if you're not serious, they split the 75 into two. You're playing 20, 30, 40 times a year. It's about 2 years. Makes sense. I mean, yeah, that feels like a solid recommendation. Again, as long as the budget makes it work.
Mhm.
I would say that for everything that you should do in golf. You should take lessons as often as you need, but if you can't afford to pay for the lessons, then you should take them whenever you can afford to take them. So that again, that's the unfortunate part about golf is that barrier for people either getting better or continuing to improve or all that stuff. The pocketbook determines a lot of that. What are your thoughts? I assume you're gonna probably agree mostly.
Yeah, I think I agree. I don't know. I was thinking about this a little bit for myself, and I like the idea, like Dan is saying there, like replace them every once a year, max 2 years. One thing I was considering for myself though is what if I just kept like a gamer set and then my practice set where I would go out, because sometimes I just like to go to the range and I'm going to the short game area and I'm hitting 30, 40, 50 yard chips. I mean, I might be hitting my 60 degree 150 times because you can repeat balls pretty quick, but I might be hitting it, 75 to 150 times in one practice session. Whereas if I just used it on the course, it's not going to get that sort of play. So if I kept
Mm-hmm.
a practice wedge where I can do that sort of practice with just to get more technique work and things like that. Yeah, ball flight might be a little bit different, distance might be a little bit different, but I don't know. That was something I've been considering just to keep the wear on the wedges down a little bit.
I like that. I like that idea having a like a backup set, especially for the range, but also yeah to bring out on like random rounds and stuff because it doesn't really matter on the range. Like you're not for the most part, you're not looking for yardages, you're not looking for spin rates or whatever, because you're using shit one piece balls that are flying to greens that aren't actually greens. It's just kind of grass out in the middle of nowhere, or you're aiming for targets. So like the yardages and everything don't really matter too much on the range. So if you're not using a premium ball or whatever ball that you're going to be playing, then yeah, I mean, actually, it's probably pointless to even use your gamer wedge on the range because you're wearing it down for almost no reason. I think. Dan's got more for us. 3 years, 3 years for people that don't take it serious. You start to see a drop, they just don't address it or look for it. That makes sense to me. Uh, love having guys with an old matching set of wedges. They just don't have grooves. Yeah. What
Nice.
hopefully Dan will chime in on this, but you can chime in first. We should have just had Dan on the program. Um, what
He would
so
happily.
there is a tool that you can purchase that is like a regroover. So it's basically just like a sharp, straight edge, knife-ish type looking thing, and you can shave the grooves down a little bit so they're like new. There are some rules against that. Like you can't have like your grooves can't be so deep or whatever. So if you start digging into those grooves too much, then your wedge becomes illegal. But I don't think there's anything illegal or wrong against using a tool to get the grooves back to what they originally were, or close to it. Have you heard of this or have any thoughts on that?
I have heard of that. I don't know how I feel about it. Just because my thought would be like, if you're grinding down a wedge a little bit, isn't that going to change the weight? and potentially the center of gravity of where the sweet spot is. Like, how is that going to affect the other parts of the club? So it's not just about the grooves; it's the whole club working together. So
Yeah,
that's
I
my
don't.
concern. One, two. So I guess this is more just random thoughts in my head. With it being illegal, for us playing these, really small time amateur events, I know it's a gentleman's game, and we should report these things ourselves. But nobody's out there checking equipment.
No,
Zero people are checking equipment. You
no. They
you go,
barely checking on the pros.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, they don't even check everybody's. It's just random people. Anyway, that's a different topic. But if like you and I went to a state tournament, no one is checking our clubs ever.
No, God no.
You could have illegal equipment and nobody will ever know. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the wedge grooving. What does Dan have to say?
Dan says he thinks it makes the wedge grooves illegal. Wedge grinding is awesome on the soul. I do this for certain players with certain soul needs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think grinding the soul is different than trying to regroove it.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that. Interesting. Yeah, I mean they sell, you can just go on Amazon and find a tool for it. So it's interesting that it would be illegal. I would, the only reason that I wouldn't do it, I would probably do it if I knew it was going to work and it wasn't going to become illegal. My problem is if I was doing it myself, there's 1,000% chance I'm just driving a hole right through it and then I just can't use the wedge ever again. Just
Yeah.
just a clumsy error and it's just, oh, there goes. I have a hole in the wedge now.
So now you've wasted 2 hours of your time, and you put a hole in your wedge so you can't use it, and you're just going to go buy a new wedge anyway.
Yeah. I have a second funny story about that. So this past winter I got a set of wedge stamps because I knew I was getting new wedges, so I was gonna like stamp the back of them. People stamp them with like letters or whatever.
Yep.
So I was gonna do that. So I got a set of stamps. I got like the hammer for it. I have the clamps. I have everything for that. And then right when I was thinking about, okay, I'm gonna go do this now, the immediate first thought in my head was, I'm gonna take one swing with this hammer. I'm gonna put a T. I'm gonna try and put a T on the wedge. I'm gonna take one hack with the hammer to bump the T into the back of the wedge, and it's just gonna split in half, and my wedge is gonna be gone. That was my fear.
Yeah. I don't think I would ever do it. I don't know. That terrifies me.
They look so cool. Everybody that posts all that stuff is like, dang, I wish I had something like that.
Yeah,
And it
they
doesn't
do.
even matter. It's like it's whatever. But
So I don't know. That feels like one of those things where you get it because you want people to think it's cool, but what really ends up happening is that people are like, "Oh, that's cool. I should do it." And then they no longer actually care that you have it. They're just
yeah,
thinking about what they could do themselves.
that's exactly how it. Like I see him on the tour all the time. All those guys got stamped wedges.
Mhm.
I saw him when I was caddying last summer. Shocking, all the super rich people have all their wedges stamped for whatever
Weird.
reason. Uh, so I see them everywhere, and yeah, I didn't really care that anybody else had them. I just saw them, and I was like, ooh, I could do that. And then of course it came time to like actually do it, and it's like I'm just gonna bust a hole, right? Like
Mhm.
I'm just gonna break it in a second. Dan says stamping is awesome but takes skill. See, yeah, that's the problem. I feel like I don't have the skill. I would probably need like a bunch of backups just to test on before I felt confident of just like banging a hammer into my wedge and it not splitting in half.
Dude,
I'm sure
just
it's fine.
just grab some old clubs that you have that you never use and just practice on those.
I did keep my old wedges, so I could probably practice on those ones.
Mhm. Yeah, you're never going to use them again anyway.
Well, I might now. You might have talked me into that.
Just the old set that you practice with.
Yeah, just bring them to the range. Yeah,
Yeah, but aren't those your single lengths, or like the length of a 6 iron or whatever?
it's a good point. They are length of a 9 iron. Yeah,
Sorry, 9 iron.
yeah, that's a good point.
exaggerating.
it's not gonna work. Damn it. Those clubs just keep getting me in trouble. Although
Yeah.
maybe I should go back because I was like I said, I was going through my Instagram, which I haven't used since 2022. And when I had just started like my whole process of trying to get better at golf when I was like a 9, 10, 11, 12 handicap or something, I was Instagramming my progress. And I got a ton of fucking posts back there from indoor and outdoor golf of, oh, shot even par today. Oh, shot 300 par yesterday. Oh, shot 200 par the day after. Oh, shot even par today. It wasn't a very good round. It's like, I was doing that 5 years. Now it's like, I don't even know how to shoot 10 over. What am I doing? I need to go back to the single length clubs. I think I said like 2 or 3 episodes ago, I think the better golfer you are, the less those make sense. But now, after looking at my Instagram today, Mitch, I might be rethinking. I might go back to 7 iron length clubs. I might, you know what? I might even get a 7 iron length driver at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thoughts?
Sorry. Sorry. I'm trying to collect my thoughts and not laugh at you because the number of times that we have said in the show that the people who jump from thing to thing to thing to thing typically just don't end up being good golfers because you're jumping all over the place and you never actually learn how to just do what's in front of you.
Ah, yes. That would
But I
make
mean,
sense.
you can do whatever you want. It's just, I mean, I think the theme of our show is don't do what you are suggesting that you want to do for yourself.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Okay, so it's settled. I'm not going back to that.
Excellent.
Although I might get a new putter.
As you should. Labs are dead. Labs are broken. Never have a lab again.
Unless it's a sweeper, which Dan will agree with. He loves the
Nope.
broom. He loves the broomstick.
You can have a broomstick. You just cannot.
What if I get a new putter that isn't a lab and is a broomstick?
Wait,
Have
say
you
that
tried to
again?
putt? Have you tried to putt with a broomstick before?
Nope. We'll never do it.
You've never even tried it?
Nope.
It's impossible.
I'm never gonna do it.
I might just be uncoordinated. I'm not gonna say unathletic because I feel like I'm athletic. I don't I couldn't figure out what I couldn't figure out how to like do the
You're,
shoulders
like,
and the
trying to
arms.
figure it
It's
out.
like, I don't know where to, yeah. I had no fucking idea. I was trying in the there's a new golf store that just opened down the road like a month ago. I was trying in there while I was waiting for them to cut my driver down in half to a 7 iron length.
Lab is on Dan's list. Goddamn right. I ditched the lab this year.
Labs on the shit list too. We should,
Yeah.
God damn it, we should have just called Dan in to talk today.
It's better than this is fine.
No, this is fine. This is fine. Lab seems to be on any coach that I know that knows anything about golf. They all seem to hate Lab. Anybody I see online that does any type of coaching, they seem to hate Lab. Why?
That is an excellent question. We should have somebody on at some point to answer that question because I don't have the answer for it.
Me either.
But I know why I don't like Lab. Maybe it's just my one experience.
You didn't make any putts.
It's not that I didn't make any putts. We talked about it when I was switching putters. When I announced I switched my putter, it was it's because it just didn't match my eye line well. I could never figure out when the putter was square or when it was open or closed, and it just led me to push or pull a lot of putts. So I just had no idea.
Can of worms, he said.
Okay, we're gonna have to open this can of worms. Not tonight. We don't have time.
Yeah,
tonight.
we don't have time tonight.
We should have Dan on, just open a can of worms and just do a We Hate Lab show.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, just in case that any time down the road that we may have enough viewers here to have a club sponsor of some sort, we're just going to make sure that Lab is not going to be the answer. I like that idea, actually. Yes. I do like that a lot.
Yeah, we should get Dan and Ryan Mulcahy on.
And just two big Lab haters.
Let them just rip Lab apart. I don't even know if we'd have to talk in that episode. It might
No,
be our best
I'll
ranked
sit and
episode ever.
listen. It'll be
Yeah,
fine. They can have, you know what? Those two can have the show for a day.
I like it. I'm very much into this idea. I don't know how
Is
we're gonna
it
make
so?
it,
Do we
but
think it's the? We're going down. Oh, this is more can of worm stuff, but now it's in my brain, so I'm gonna ask you. Do we think it's the no torque, low torque situation that everybody hates about it, that knows anything about golf? Or is it just lab themselves? Because I'll ask, and I'm going to tell you why I'm asking. The putter that I want to get is also a low/no torque putter. I just like it the way it looks better. And I made a lot of putts with it a handful of times in
so
practice.
well, okay. So when you were making a lot of putts with it, that was at the PGA Superstore with all their funnel pins up, right?
With my putter too though.
Well, yeah, because they have funnel.
You always test with your putter.
But that,
It was
that
better. It was better than my putter currently.
no, I'm convinced that if you go to a golf shop, PGA
No, yeah,
Superstore,
they do roll right in the cup
it's
often.
it's all just funneled directly into the cup wherever you are. It just goes in.
That's why I brought my putter in as well to make sure.
No, it's the ball, not the putter. I think the ball is just one of those magic balls that just rolls into the cup.
But
Or like
this other one I was making more than with my current gamer is what I'm saying. Which is
okay.
telling me so the sample size is the same. I was using the same ball into the same hole, just my putter versus other one, and other one I was making more with. Maybe the floor models are cheaters. What do you think about that?
Could be. Not opposed to the idea.
That part is fine. Understanding what torque and what that means is where people get lost. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck it is. All I know,
I'm
I'll tell you what sold me on Lab. It's a stupid video that the founder put out. You can look. It's on YouTube. You can look it
his
up if you want.
marketing video. That
It's
probably also
mostly a marketing. It's mostly a marketing video that has the little fucking board thing that he puts the putter on, and you put any other putter on, and it fucking spins like 40 million times going back and forth. And then the lab is just straight back, straight forth. It's like, ooh, that seems nice.
it is nice. It, and thinking back on it, I think that's what got me on Lab right away too.
See, it got you too. God damn it.
That makes sense. Yeah, the putter face is stable. But you want to know what's not happening in that video? There's not a real human holding on.
Right. Yeah. All right.
He's not touching the putter, because if you're touching the putter, like, you can hold the face square and that part will be fine. Because I mean, what happens to the rest of our clubs, right? Like, we're all holding the club. They're not all zero torque, low torque nonsense.
Yeah.
The club face is open, the club face is closed. I don't know. It's ridiculous.
Oh, Dan is trying to debunk this. He's saying he's not even true. It's not even true. That's pretty fucked up. If that's right.
Do we got a lawsuit? Did we just find a lawsuit in the middle of this podcast?
I hope so.
Are we going after Lab?
Can I go back? Is there a statute of limitations? How far back can I go? I got my putter like 4 or 5 years ago.
I just need a year of pain and suffering for all of my missed putts while I was playing the Lab. That's it. That's all I request.
Oh man. Marketing gets you with putters, gets you with drivers. Did you see we had an entire other, by the way, we had an entire other topic to talk about today. We're not going to get to it anymore.
Yeah, well, there's no way we're getting that.
So I'm going to have to change the title of this before we're done. But anyways, I don't know if you saw this, but Bridgestone is they're making a new ball that is waterproof. Did you see this?
Wait.
So it doesn't. The ball apparently. I hope I didn't get catfished on this. I'm pretty sure this is a real thing. The ball apparently is unaffected when water is on the surface of the ball. So like if the ball is wet, the reaction off the club is different if it's wet versus if it's dry. Apparently, this ball that Bridgestone made, if it's real and I'm not being catfished, is not impacted by moisture on the ball.
But that doesn't make any sense because if,
It doesn't.
if the moisture is still on the ball, the issue is not the ball being wet. The issue is
I'm
what
gonna
happens
Google it.
when a wet ball makes contact with the club face and how that impacted force changes based on the friction and the impact that the water creates there. So if there's water on the ball, it doesn't really matter.
I found it. I found it.
Fascinated.
Bridgestone E12 Splash. This is from My Golf Spy. Finally, a ball that doesn't care about weather. Hold on, let me read the rest of this. The company calls it RPLX hydrophobic coating. In plain English, it is designed to repel water and prevent mud ball. Oh, so it prevents mud balls.
That makes more sense.
Interesting. E12 Splash is a performance game changer. So why do they have just one ball why can't they make that into their just regular, like the regular balls they just use? Why can't they? What's the difference? If
Well,
they made a
that,
Bridgestone Tour BX that did that, I would go directly back to the Tour BX.
but
I
I think
played that
the
for a while.
idea is that legal? Like, are they using legal equipment that a tour player would want? Because a tour player, I mean, if there's an opportunity to never have mud on your ball, every tour player is going to sign up for that. But I just don't know if I believe it.
Dan says marketing. Worth it. Oh, here's a quote from Adam Rayberg, who is Bridgestone's marketing guy.
Yeah, there we go.
He's sent me free golf balls before, by the way. Fun fact. We're thrilled to launch the first ball that delivers truly superior performance in wet condition. Okay. There it is. There it is. It's not, it just is flat out no water. It's superior performance in wet conditions. So it just is a little bit better than other balls that are wet.
Hey,
All
all
right.
you got to do is 0.1% better to make that claim.
You know what? Now I'm annoyed that I even brought this up.
Yeah, I'm also annoyed by this. But anyway,
$34.99 a dozen. They're cheap too.
yeah, so
All right.
they're
I'm done with
that
that.
that's being marketed to bad players. Again,
I
if it
think
was
you're right.
real, if it was real that they could figure out a way to prevent mud balls, every single tour player would be lining up at their door because all of them are looking for just that tiny edge, that just little bit that they can shave 1-2 strokes off in a
That's what
round or
I'm
even
saying.
a tournament.
That's what I'm saying. If Bridgestone has that technology and it is as good as they claim it is in that article I just read, there's 100% of tour players would be banging their doors down
Yes.
because they play fucking lift clean sheet every other week. So it's obviously just raining everywhere they play now.
Mhm.
So if they have any minimal technology that can sort of kind of get rid of mud balls or sort of kind of get rid of the moisture, literally every single tour player would be playing a Bridgestone tomorrow.
Yep.
I can guarantee it.
Mm-hmm. And if they're not, then that means it's just not true.
Right. Or they're like Tiger and they're playing a Titleist or they're playing a Bridgestone, but they just painted it Titleist.
You mean Nike?
That's what Tiger did. He played a Bridgestone, but it was painted Nike.
Yeah, yeah.
Allegedly.
Anyway, yeah, that was quite the riveting episode that we had tonight. We were
Oh
going
yeah, I
to
was
talk
gonna change the
about
title.
learning to fail and how
We were.
failure you know, not a bad thing, and different ways to that we can do that on the golf course. But we did not get there tonight because we went on a little bit of a rant on other stuff. So we're gonna save that for next week and talk about it a little bit more then. But I'll leave you with this one little cliffhanger because I thought it was a very interesting snippet that I was reading in this book the other day, and it
Ooh.
was just that all it was is that Olympic gold or Olympic silver medalists, they did a study, but Olympic silver medalists, they felt like a failure, and they had this feeling of what if? What if I did this? What if I just would have gotten that? Like they're thinking about all the things of what could have gotten me to gold, right? Whereas the bronze medalist, they framed it a little bit different. They framed it as I'm so happy to be here to get this bronze medal so I can take something home with me because I was so close to not even being here. I was almost not on the podium. So it's like a little reframing. Like the silver medalists did better than the bronze, but the bronze felt more accomplished because they knew how close they were to never being on the podium in the first place.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah. So we'll leave
I
that as a
like
little
it.
cliffhanger for next week and how we
Yeah.
can take similar concepts to the golf course about failure and that different mindset and reframing on how we can um, process not accomplishing our goals.
I like it. I like it. I'm in. I had some solid thoughts on that myself. So
Mhm.
all right, let's do it.
Awesome. Well, in the
All right.
meantime, we want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. Thanks for Dan for chiming in. We always appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we're just here, a bunch of amateurs trying to get together and create this community of amateur golfers just talking about golf and how to get better. But yeah, go ahead, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share. We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for the algorithm. We are live every week, mostly. There are holidays coming up here over the
There
next
are.
couple, so that will probably be changing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll keep you up to date. But in the meantime, again, yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And we will see you all next week at 8 p.m. Central